Welcome to Comic Basics, the greatest stories ever told, where we try to teach you the greatest stories ever told in comics in 5 minutes or less. Today's story, Marvel's Secret Invasion. Before we begin, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button just below this video. Civil War did a great job of pitting heroes against one another. However, it did a better job of selling a lot of books. Unfortunately, at its conclusion, it left the world asking more questions than Marvel had answers for. Most important of these questions was, why would the heroes battle one another? Aren't they on the same side? Sensing a problem, Marvel took these questions and gave them to the always reliable Brian Michael Bendis. Bendis immediately began constructing the answers. More than that, he found a clever way to realign the entire Marvel universe while he did it. Secret Invasion picks up as the Skrull princess Ferenke explains to her people that the end of their homeworld is near and that they must take measures to find somewhere new to inhabit. After many years, the Skrulls came to Earth and successfully captured some of his heroes. So as no one would suspect anything, they then took the form and filled in for the missing heroes. The heroes become wise to the Skrulls when Pagon, disguised as Elektra, dies in a battle. Upon its death, Pagon reverts back to its Skrull form. To further divide the Avengers, Ferengi then, after a few failed tries, hands the dead Skrull over to Tony Stark. Remember, Secret Invasion takes place directly after the fallout of Civil War, and the heroes still hate one another. Iron Man takes the corpse to the Illuminati, tells them that the Skrull went undetected, and that if there were more Skrulls out there, no one would know. To figure out why the Skrulls are undetectable, Tony arranges a secret laboratory for Mr. Fantastic and Hank Pym to work in. Out on the peak, Dum Dum Dugan, revealed as a Skrull, sets off a detonator that explodes the space station. At that same moment, Jarvis, also a Skrull, uploads a virus into the Iron Man armor. Not only does it cause the suit to malfunction, but the virus actually takes control of the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier as well. Worse than both of these, it also affects the various Stark systems. His Enterprise plant, his satellite systems, and the high-tech security prison known as the Raft. Now compromised, the prisoners of the Raft begin to escape. As the story flips back to the Savage Land, one by one, Skrull versions of Earth's superheroes emerge from the ship. Emma Frost, Luke Cage, Phoenix, Spider-Man, Captain America, Hawkeye, Wolverine, Thor, Mockingbird, Beast, Iron Man, Invisible Woman, Scarlet Witch, Miss Marvel, and Vision. Notably, none of these heroes are actually in their present-day costumes. Instead, each has arrived in their early costumes. This, of course, is because the Skrulls have copied an older version of each hero. Back in the laboratory, Reed Richards discovers how and why the Skrulls went undetected. However, before he could let anyone know, Hank Pym reveals himself to be a Skrull. He then shoots Reed with a weapon that affects him at the molecular level. That is, Hank shoots Reed and Reed's body scatters like jello hitting the wall. As confusion reigns supreme in the Savage Land, the heroes attempt to decipher who is a Skrull and who isn't. At one point, Wolverine approaches Mockingbird and asks her questions that would either prove or disprove her status. He even opts to ask what happened on October 12th, to which she calmly replies that she lost her baby. Ronan, or Clint Barton, jumps in and vouches for her innocence. After all, if she were a Skrull, how could she have known something so personal? As war wages on across the globe, Spider-Woman approaches Tony Stark, gives him a kiss, and thanks him for making the invasion such a success. She reveals to him that everything up till this point, including Civil War, had actually been planned. More so, she lets him know that she couldn't have done it without his involvement. Strangely, the only one who makes any sense of what to do is Black Widow. Rather than trying to figure out who's who, she employs the shoot first, ask questions later method. She then shoots two imposters, Beast and Phoenix. Even Wolverine couldn't escape her tirade, as the moment he entered her vicinity, he too was shot. Luckily, his mutant power to heal himself prevented any sort of damage. Back in New York, with things looking more bleak than ever, Nick Fury and Miss Marvel do everything they can to slow the invasion. A now free Mr. Fantastic uses his device to show who is and who isn't a Skrull. Most importantly, Mockingbird, the same one that Clint Barton vouched for, is proven to be a Skrull. Frustrated that the love of his life was murdered and replaced by a Skrull, Clint loses himself and vows to kill every last one of the Skrulls. The scene jumps back to New York, where every hero involved and the Thunderbolts have found their way there. In the ensuing battle, Ronan finds his way back to his bow and arrow and immediately takes out a few Skrulls. He then takes aim and shoots an arrow at Ferengi. The arrow hits its target and pierces her through her neck and then exits out of her mouth. The tides look to be changing for the heroes until a formula that was given to Wasp just a few days earlier is activated and she begins to grow extremely large. She then emits a purple energy and becomes a living and breathing bomb. At the moment of her explosion, Thor flies in and makes her disappear. With the invasion foiled, Wolverine looks to make his final kill the princess. Just as he's about to do so, Norman Osborn steps in and shoots her. Because of the gluttony of press coverage at the event, the shot was heard around the world and Norman was shown as a hero. At its conclusion, Norman, under the direction of the president, takes control of the Thunderbolts and is given all of the responsibility that Tony Stark once had. The book concludes with Norman Osborn in a room with Doctor Doom, Loki, Namor, the Hood, and Emma Frost telling them that, okay, it's the new day, so listen carefully, this is how it's gonna be. Secret Invasion is widely considered both a critical and commercial success. It achieved everything that it needed to do, all the while remaining true to really good storytelling. If you haven't read it, go read it now. And that's it guys, Secret Invasion in 5 minutes or less. I hope you enjoyed the video, and before you go, just like every other video, I'm going to ask you 3 simple things. First, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button. Every subscribe helps this channel grow. And while you're hitting that subscribe button, hit that share button and let someone else like it too. Second, I'm going to ask you to check out a website. In the beginning of this video I mentioned Comics for Cause, and I want you to really check it out. Comics for Cause is a global initiative by us here at Comic Basics that aims to give impoverished kids all over the world a chance to escape their realities through comic books. And if you can help us, please do. And third, go check out our other website, the website for this YouTube video, comicbasics.com. On that website, you'll find more information than we can put into any of these videos. Talk to you soon, guys. Have a good one.